Another day, another video. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're watching Prison Break. This is the 10th episode of the first season. Hope you guys have been enjoying it so far. If you'd like to watch today's full episode, it is available for free in the link in the description below. Just click on it, put the password in, and enjoy. If you'd like to watch the daily uploads, we do post it on the Patreon every single day, with 5 days on the YouTube, taking weekends off. So hopefully you guys are enjoying both the contents on there. But last episode we did have an interesting end, because we've recently seen that obviously they're making heavy progress in terms of their escape. You know, Michael's been able to get up and down through the roof. He's been able to bash through the wall using basically his calculations, you know, drilling through all of the corners and bashing through to the tunnel. Now they're obviously in the, what would you call it, the break room for the guards, and inside of there it's a location that they need to bash through the floor, and all of the PI crew, they're on there, so they're making good progress on that, and it all looks like it's going to plan. But interestingly, the person that dropped in the meds, you know, the person that gave him the insulin blocker, he started to suss and see that he's doing something. Do you know what I mean? He's noticing they're all throwing like some rubble into the yard. He's picked it up. He's not really said anything or confronted anybody yet, but I'm fully expecting that to happen soon. Still got LJ on the run. Do you know what I mean? Secret Service are chasing him down. He managed to dodge them, basically left his phone on the bus and then bounced to a different location to actually meet Veronica, which is quite clever, to be honest. You know, she knew that they was tracing the call, and basically she told him one location, and when he put it down, she texted him to come to another. So now they're lost. They're trying to find him. They've got information. Hopefully they've got the picture from obviously from the phone, because he did take one of the guys. That'd be really interesting if it gets out. Obviously we know that they're working for the vice president. It was her that organised the hit and is going around trying to kill everybody here. You know, I kind of think it's dead obvious to see that Lincoln's being set up in terms of how heavily involved and how all these crazy scenarios and situations are going around people that are kind of associated with him. But another interesting thing is, a Brute's there. He's no longer in charge of his crew or the prison or whatever. They've cut his funds off it, you know, the people on the outside, which means that he can no longer pay Bellic, you know, which means that he no longer has his leverage inside of the prison. They've nominated somebody else to take his role, and now he's lost PI. So basically a new crew's going in there. That's how we ended last episode. Basically Michael and co, do you know what I mean? They've lost their spot and a new group is going in. So it's going to be really interesting, because technically they should find the hole. You know, if they're going to do the reconstruction of the place, all they have to do is move the sheet that's on the floor and they'll see where they've been bashing. So going to be really interesting to see how today's episode goes. Thanks for checking it out. If you do enjoy it, please smash a like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new, and as always, let's jump into the 10th episode of the first season of Prison Break. Well, we're still walking over it.
Falzone is just an envelope. You've been doing business with me face to face.
You think I like getting piss thrown at me? These other chumps might do it for the 40 grand a year in the little blue uniform, but I'm not that dumb.
Boss, just give me some time. I can match whatever Falzone is paying you.
You're out of business. Get used to it.
The longer they're in there, the sooner they're gonna find it. Well, I don't give a damn about that Fibonacci anymore.
You're right. That is crazy.
It is crazy.
I got bigger things to think about, like survival. The only way I can get that room back is if I can prove to Falzone that I'm still worthy, that I still got what it takes.
He's not actually lying there, is he?
This is not a me versus you thing anymore. This is us, an us thing, all right? You see, if Fibonacci testifies in front of the Congress next month, Falzone is gonna go down in flames. But if we give him Fibonacci, he will give us anything.
The thing is, though, like, this time he's actually being serious, and like this time I know that it's to his advantage. It actually is. You know, he can go to the mob, give them information, he can go rise back to the top. Do you know what I mean? They can say, oh, it's all a big misunderstanding, well done, John, we always knew we had it in you, we just need a little push. Do you know what I mean? And you know, you come through with flying colours, you've been reinstated, here's the money, do whatever you want. Do you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, though, is Michael needs to be in that room. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, sometimes you got to play the cards that you've been dealt. And that is no pun intended in terms of the front bit where he was getting tattooed and he's playing with his cards on that bench. The fact is, if they don't get in that room and they find that hole, all of them are potentially getting sent down for a long time. If they need to escape, do you know what I mean? Sometimes you got to give more than you expect in certain situations. And even if we could go to Falzone, right, and give him a big update, you know, that shows progress. That's better than the other guy. Do you know what I mean? It might reinstate him. Or it might give him the funds and you say, look, I'm making progress. Give me till tomorrow or the next day and then go from there. But right now, everyone's desperate. Really desperate.
Give him up.
If I do, they'll kill him.
Maybe he deserves it.
That's just it. He doesn't. An innocent man. Caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. He was middle management at one of Abruzzi's warehouses. Just a normal guy.
What did I tell you about talking?
Johnny, please, no!
He realized that Abruzzi and Falzone, the men he worked for, were killers. And he had the key to all their dealings. Things that could put them away for life. And now he's in witness protection for life. But if I don't give him up, this whole thing's over.
If I'm to live,
An innocent man's got to die.
A good man has to die.
Kellerman?
You're in the place we discussed.
Yes.
A friend of mine should be along there shortly.
Nothing is going to affect tomorrow, if that's what you're worried about.
My friend is a problem solver, that's all.
Tone changed.
You think she knows about the kid?
We don't know that.
Shouldn't have told her we had the kid.
What is it you don't understand? We tell her that kid got away, you and I, we are not here right now. As for her friend, we find out what he wants, we play nice, we deal with it accordingly.
See, I don't like him, but he's actually like pretty good for his role. Like he does his job proper serious.
what's this?
It's for, you know,
Final meal.
last meal. You don't fill it out. All they're gonna give you is what's on chow for that day. You don't want that for your last meal, do you, man?
Mate, it's just giving him like, showing him that his death's around the corner. Do you know what I mean?
Something you need there, Rughead?
Yeah, job, man.
Why'd you hit the DQ down the street? We aren't hiring.
Put 100 in your kick every month.
150.
Sign me up then, baby.
I was thinking about what you said, that it's not a me versus you thing. How far are you willing to go with that?
No, you heard me right.
You're telling me this kid is gonna give up Fibonacci? You're sure?
Definite. Only one thing, he wants to meet with you directly.
I come all the way out there, and this turns out to be a waste of my time. I'm gonna castrate you.
Has he got Fibonacci's number?
I saw inmate on the caller ID.
Remember when I said I might be calling you on Fibonacci?
Yes.
It's time. Nice flowers.
Right.
Do we have an admirer?
They're from my father. It's my birthday.
Today? Happy birthday.
Just that out of those 29 birthdays, my father has actually managed to see me on precisely 6 of them. I get flowers instead. Flowers that end up dead and in the trash a week later.
Do you know what? Michael should make like an origami flower and say that's not going to actually decay in a week's time.
I sort of get what you're going through here, LJ. I was in the same spot when I was your age. And like your dad, he was innocent.
What happened?
What I hope happens here. He got exonerated. We're gonna beat this thing.
Good speech, that. I like it. It's a good speech.
You were expecting me? A mutual friend arranged to... Yes.
Yo, the guy's acting like, I don't know, he's kind of not as serious, but he's going to be well serious.
The reason I'm here is because there's a discrepancy between what you know and what you have said to the vice president. Same thing goes with the kid. You know, you were silly enough to tell the old lady that you were actually in possession of. First of all.
There we go.
No. See? Now you made me make a wave. Your proximal and middle phalanx are broken. Just heist it for 45 minutes, then splint it. That's what a doctor would tell you to do.
I would have just said I would have joined him. Do you know what I mean? Just giving the information and teamed up.
Over $500 million that I've found so far in federal grants to Echo Field for alternative fuel research. No fuel cells, no patents, no findings, nothing.
So Ecofield was a sham, it was a cover.
Isn't that mad, really, how people can pass money around like that into a company and people don't even notice 200, 300 million going out?
How'd you find him? Did my homework. Transferred to the U.S. Marshal Service and placed in witness protection. They're guarded by a local sheriff from the county where the trial will take place. If the sheriff was available, then he wasn't the one guarding Fibonacci. And since Pranzo was the only one who wasn't in his office, and his wife and kids were waiting for him at home, I knew the only vacation he was taking was with Fibonacci. I called the phone company, said I was Pranzo and I'd lost my bill. I asked for another copy. Mrs. Pranzo was receiving dozens of calls from an area code a long way from Chicago. There was Fibonacci's exact location.
A friend here, John, is trying to extort me. How much?
200,000. Where did you get this?
Well, since you took it upon yourself to have some people watching over our interests, to have some people watching over yours.
I don't think what Michael asked for was that bad, to be fair. You know what I mean? Like, if that guy really badly wants Fibonacci handed over so that this guy don't get sent down and he's got all this money and he's a mob boss, like, you would think that 200k wouldn't be a bad, like, amount to ask for. You know what I mean? Basically, to save your own ass, I would hand it over. I feel like that was really good and an acceptable amount, to be honest, that Michael could ask for. But obviously, if you got this in your back pocket, like John just had and threw it out there, you know, potentially you could go away with spending nothing and getting the information anyway. I think that Abruzzi's kind of come out of this engagement in a glowing way, to be fair. You know, like, if you look at him, he's set up the meeting, he's possibly getting the information that he wants, and he's shown that he's still got a bit of, you know, power against him by coming down and having information on Michael that he possibly didn't know what was going on. So I feel like this scenario situation has made him look pretty well, to be honest.
You are less than a gnat to me. And two, all you gotta do is give me the address and we avoid all this melodrama altogether.
Promise me it'll be quick and painless.
The next thing that comes out of your mouth is not that address. There's gonna be a lot of pain in a lot of places.
Canada, 345 Hamilton Avenue.
Get out of here.
Abruzzi's loving it.
I guess the demise of John Abruzzi was greatly exaggerated.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Could you do me a favor and fix this Bellic thing for me?
I consider it done.
Look that son of a bitch in his eyes and tell him John Abruzzi said goodbye.
This is not the time or the place.
This is the time and the place.
Don't take that tone with me. I am the vice president of this country.
No, actually, you're Caroline Reynolds from Montgomery, Illinois.
Yeah, I'd say I know loads of information about you as well. Anything happens to me, this hard drive's getting published, I'd just be bluffing.
You woke a sleeping beast when you called these guys in. They have a bigger agenda than any of us, and they get real nasty real quick.
But the one thing both of us have to remember is that we are in this together.
All I'm saying is these guys are into this thing now, and there's no going back.
I'm Nestor Pollock, Midwestern Life and Casualty.
No, I'm here to discuss Veronica Donovan.
What about her?
Well, we've been trying to track her down with respect to the property damage from the apartment explosion.
Is Veronica okay?
Well, there has been a fatality.
Oh
No,
my
but the
God.
medical examiners haven't been able to identify remains.
Yeah, you go crazy, wouldn't you, being in them four walls? There's literally nothing there. You just have to keep reading that and give you a bit of sanity, do you know what I mean?
Blueberry pancakes, huh? All right, man. You got it.
Wonder why he wants blueberry pancakes. I do love a good dessert kind of, or breakfast style meal. How to so blunt as anything, that, innit? Do you reckon have killed him? It's a bit unnecessary, that, innit? Whatever software that is, that's pretty mad, innit?
Is it?
All right, that's it, kids.
Well, he's actually there, look.
Tonight we send a message, gentlemen. We're gonna hurt him and his family the way he hurt ours.
Can you change the timer on the sprinkler while you're out there?
Oh, okay.
Love ya.
Love you too.
Oh, Michael set them up. My question is what are they arresting them for? Now, you could say arresting them for intent to kill, but it's not obvious that. That wasn't obvious, you know. They was just walking around with guns in their possession. But from my recollection, is it not legal in America to have a gun if you're a license holder? Now, they'd be stupid if they're not. And they're not exactly, it seems, wanted like a warrant's out for them, because the guy's in and out of prison every day. Do you know what I mean? So it's not as if, like, he's supposed to be in hiding and cover his face and that. So, like, I do think it's kind of interesting that, like, you know, if they're trying to take the mob down, then they could have took them down multiple times, because they've shown the face in public and in prison. And now, if they're taking them out, arresting them because they're all there walking, going close to a house with a gun, I kind of get that. They could say you looked like you was going to do some damage, but then again, if you don't actually do any damage and you don't actually fire your weapon and they didn't see you pointing at anybody, then is that not all just an insinuation and there's no facts behind it? Do you know what I mean? Like, it looks sketchy, but they technically really didn't do anything sketchy. So I'll be interested to see why they've actually been arrested and like what they actually say about it.
Hi, it's John. You wanted to talk to me?
Falzone got popped last night. International gun charges, parole violation.
Right. So is it because he went from US to Canada?
Your flowers.
Like I said, they don't last.
Look, I knew he'd make a fake one. It's well smart origami, innit?
You and I have a lot to talk about, don't we, Fish? Seems Philip Falzone ran into some problem up in Canada. The national gun charges, parole violation.
Might like
He's
it.
gonna go away for a long time.
How do you feel about that?
Pretty darn good. Shot.
Oh, team players, mate. Really good.
Lincoln's from back in the day.
You are gonna give me Fibonacci once we're outside these walls, right?
Of course.
I mean, that was a good plan from them. Do you know what I mean? He did ask him how far they're in it together. Do you know what I mean? As a team.
Why can't we have breakfast every day?
You should have breakfast every day, LJ.
Why can't I have breakfast with you every day?
Your mommy and me, we don't live together anymore.
Why?
Sometimes that happens with mommies and daddies. A little bit or a handful?
Handful.
It's a meaningful meal to him then.
Here we go.
Take a walk.
He's no longer in charge, and he's lost an eye in a week. He's fuming.
Wanna walk with him?
Stretch your legs, old head.
Now we got a hell of a lot to talk about, don't we?
Yard time's over, ladies. Let's line it up.
I'm not done with you, Fish.
I feel this guy is shown that he's quite knowledgeable, quite clever, and like useful as well. Do you know what I mean?
We're through the hard part. Another 18 inches, we'll hit that pipe.
Balls. This guy says he's on the job in here.
No, I don't think so.
He knows what he's doing.
Are you sure about that? Okay, boss. Sign him up.
You got it.
I have a lot of dots, but no way to connect them.
What about shareholders?
Well, profits were minimal, and they were all converted back to shares. You can't hide $500 million just by moving a few decimal points.
Maybe it funds a campaign.
The vice president is reported to have the largest campaign war chest in history.
He's trying to fund a campaign, isn't he? He's trying to get votes. You could easily go in there and just sweep it through and kill them all. Do you know what, right? Just so what I don't understand, like, do you know in terms of, I don't know, funding for a presidential campaign, like, I mean, I don't pay attention hardcore to the UK one, and they could do this one, you know, in terms of, I know, so what I'm saying is, in the US, when people are running, you hear it a lot on the news that, like, they go from state to state to state, and they're all doing these speeches, and they're all doing these campaigns, and you get people backing them, and big celebrities, and big names, and high-profile people, and companies, and billionaires all funding it, do you know what I mean, and like, giving it, and I don't understand, personally, how anybody funding anything in terms of a presidential campaign can benefit it. Like, it would never sway my vote at all. So for example, like me in the UK, if I'm watching like the prime minister, technically that's what ours is, to run, then I'll just watch the speeches and the stuff that they do. But like, nothing that they say that they donate in here and there, it doesn't bother me. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, just because this person's, like, I don't know, got all this money and they've got all these flags and they're driving these cars and they've got all these people supporting them, doesn't change my opinion on anything. You could literally have Steve from the Chipper running for a politician, or you could have this guy with 500 million quid running for it. Does that mean that just because this guy's got loads of money and got banners everywhere, that everyone's going to love him? Now, technically, yeah, probably does in the US. That's probably the way it goes. The person with the more money, more advertisement, the more banners, the more adverts, the more commercials. But for me, speaking from my point of view, that I've seen in real life, nobody's asked about money, because I don't have it. My mum don't have it. Steve next door done. Bill from the shop done. You know, Karen down there, you know, the Mona, she done. People just care about what somebody's offering to do. Doesn't matter what financial backing that they've got behind them. In fact, it's a total opposite here in the UK. We got Rishi Sunak as our Prime Minister, and the guy's a millionaire, and like the whole country pretty much hates him. Like, you can be his political party following, but let's just say the majority of the country dislike him because he actually has money. And everybody hates that he's flaunting it and spending it and using it because everybody doesn't. Do you know what I mean? So, like, I don't know, like, going on, if you went on the news in the UK and said, I'm running for Prime Minister, you know, I've got this war chest of 5 billion quid and I'm going to run it, everyone would be like, don't put that person in. You should be giving us the 5 billion quid. Why don't you make the economy better? Why are you spending it all on a campaign? I don't know. Different countries go through different things. But from my experience in the UK, if you was running for something, and you was like gloating that you had all this money and all this financial backing, the way the UK public treat and go around things, we twist it and say, if you've got all that money, why don't you spend it on benefiting the communities? Why don't you actually put it in? Nobody cares about your campaign. Just tell us what you want to do and actually benefit the general UK people. You know what I'm saying? So be interested to see where it goes, because clearly that 500 million that's been embezzled, that's going nowhere. It's actually giving a little fund for her so that she can fund the campaign, and that is how, technically, as we just been saying there, it seems like she's going to actually get in charge. But so much going on, so much that she's involved in, that any bit of information that's leaked, it can send her down. Okay, that is going to wrap up today's episode. Thanks so much for checking out the channel today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you're not yet watching the full episodes, they are available for free in the link in the description below. But today's episode ended with another person added to the escape plan. Now the numbers are increasing, aren't they? They really are. What's this guy called now? Is he called like C-Note? So we've got C-Note, Michael and Lincoln. We've got Abruzzi, Sucre, Teabag. Do you know what I mean? Is that it? Is that all 6 of them? I still feel like that is a lot of people to be involved into an escape plan. It just needs one person to talk, and that's it. Do you know what I mean? You're going down. And also needs, as well, when you're actually escaping, it's going to turn to every man for themselves. Apart from Lincoln and Michael, who's going to be obviously a team, once that escape starts, nobody cares about anybody but me, myself, mate, because I want to escape the most. So it's going to be really interesting to see how each person takes this escape plan. And, you know, you can also see that Michael's getting a little bit closer to her doctor as well. You know, she said it was her birthday. She was saying that she didn't like the flowers that her dad always gave her. She's 29 years old and he's only spent like 6 birthdays with her or something like that, and so he just sends flowers and in a week they die. Trust me, I hate flowers, like, because they do die in a week, and they're expensive as well. You know, I prefer fake flowers, me. They literally last forever. They look good all the time, and you're not actually just burning money down the drains. But, you know, Michael actually made her a little origami one. I knew that he was going to do that. She obviously likes that so much more. She was smiling and glowing a little bit there, so that's really interesting. You know, Michael as well actually sent Falzone down. You know, you would have thought that Abruzzi would have been fuming about it, wouldn't you? You know what I mean? Because he needed him to fund Bellic, basically, to get him back on PI. But luckily, he managed to transfer the funds before he could actually take him out. And, yeah, not really give up Fibonacci. Now, John, he wants him. He was saying, look, mate, when we get out of the outside, you're going to give it to me, aren't you? And he's like, yeah, of course, which we don't, like, in my personal opinion, I don't think Michael actually is going to do that. Just listening to the conversations. And basically, he was saying earlier on in the episode that, you know, basically, if he gives him over, it's going to be another innocent man dying. So currently, they're trying to get Lincoln out because he's innocent. And now, to get him out, they're going to have to give over another innocent man. It's kind of like double standards, isn't it? You know, why is your life better than his when you're both innocent? So I don't think he'll give him over, but they give Falzone over, mate. He had the police there. Everybody was waiting for them. I was trying to say, what did he technically do wrong? You know, he was walking with a weapon out, but he wasn't really seen pointing out at somebody, threatening somebody. Do you know what I mean? They're making an assumption, but they did say that he was, basically, it sounded like he was out of his area. So because he went to Canada and they left the US, you know, they'd be able to grab them because they're breaching the criminal charges that they've had before, technically. Because I was saying that they walk in and out of prison all the time and nobody arrests them, but maybe it's because obviously they've moved to a different country with weapons, do you know what I mean, and they'd be able to take them down. So that again is interesting to see. Now LJ is obviously still in hiding with Veronica, and there's a new person being drafted in to work with the Secret Service and the VP, and you know, her original crew went over to her and basically said, look, mate, you called these people in, you think they're doing their job, but you've messed it up, mate, big time. These don't stop. They're hardcore. They're much worse than us. You dug yourself a hole. You know what I mean? They've already come in. Looks like they killed Veronica's fiance, gone after the Secret Service already, located Veronica. Technically, all they should do is just get a silent weapon, just bang, 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 3 bodies dead, leave them in the woods and just get away. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know how it's going to go down. That's going to be next episode job, so that's why it's going to be exciting. If you can't wait to find out what happens, please come back tomorrow and smash a like in today's video. If you did enjoy it, subscribe if you're new, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.